All right, and we're rolling. Today I'm here with Jei Wong. Jay is a buddy of my family's.
I'm
Simply
the
put,
family friend.
yeah,
Ah,
a long lost Chan in some ways, I suppose,
yeah.
or something. No, Jay's super close with my sister, and specifically, they're part of Otafest. So if you're not familiar with what Otafest is, actually, Jay, take it away. Like, tell the audience what Otafest is for people who've never heard of it before.
Simple stuff. Otafest is Calgary's uh, Asian culture and fandom festival that we hold. We do Japanese film and festival stuff where we show lots of anime. We got cosplay contests going on. We got lots of special events. We got voice actors. We have huge uh, vendors hall and everything like that. And it's just
It's
really fun.
primarily like Japanese anime though, right? Like
A lot of it is Japanese anime, but there's a lot of I would say like fandom bleed into lots of different things. Like for a while when My Little Pony, remember that? It was like
I know what
10
My Little
years
Pony
ago. I
is.
don't know of it, but
Wait a
like
minute, wait. I know what the original cartoon is when I was like a little kid in the 80s.
no, but like
But
10 years
I never
ago.
watched it all. You know,
Yeah.
I was more into like
No, I've
Ninja Turtles.
never seen the original actually. But 10 years ago, when there was like a big like remake of that franchise, and it was like huge, then like we'd get not necessarily official content on that end, but we do like some North American fandom stuff just because like it's part of the fabric of the community. We don't really gatekeep content in that sense because we are a community event. We're not necessarily like an expo type of thing where we're a trade show or we're very business oriented. What that really means is that we actually let the community submit a lot of panels. It's actually over 100 panels worth of content over the 3-day weekend for us. That is all by the community for the community. So people are able to come in and share what it is that they love about the thing that they do with other people. And that makes people network, build new friends, new communities. People get married or not married, but like propose at Otafest because they sort of do this whole thing, man, where it's just integrated into kind of who they are, what they're interested in.
yeah.
So we don't gatekeep on that kind of thing.
So this might sound like stupid on my part here, but like, what is
No.
my role in what's my sister's role again? Did she? She didn't invent Otafest, but she runs it now, right? Is she like the CEO or whatever? Like,
for what we're a nonprofit. We're all volunteer run, by the way, so none of us get paid. Jenny doesn't get paid. I don't get paid. I've been around for 15 years. I just do it for fun, for free. It's my creative project, and I think it is for Jenny too, because she's been there since almost year zero. I think she's gonna correct me on this, but I think she was in on like 2001, 2003 maybe, and Otafest itself started in 1999 as an anime club
out
for
of the University of Calgary.
University of Calgary. That's exactly it.
Mhm.
So it's been a long time coming, and what she is now is that she's the chair.
She's the chairman, right?
She
Okay.
she our decisions run through her. I work with her on several like teams, namely the merchandising team and the
Okay,
special guest team.
So if we were a business organization, like what would you say you're like a COO kind of thing? Like, in a way,
I'm probably somewhere in. I'm not. We have
Jenny's
chairs.
listening to this now.
We have
She's like,
yeah.
She's
She's
like,
like, oh, what's he gonna get right? There's a chair. There's the vice chairs.
Yeah.
So they're the head of department. So you've got like revenue generation, for example. So that's really bringing in admissions and stuff like that. And then underneath that is just like the teams, and then we have like staff, general staff, and then they have volunteers and stuff like that.
Either way,
So.
Jay's a big deal in Otafest.
I've just been around a lot.
And as the audience has heard, Jenny, my older sister, is the chair. So, I'm just saying I know people, all right? So I might,
Very nerdy people.
I might throw my weight around at Otafest this year and walk around with I don't know, like a staff of some kind.
Just be like, I know.
And a crown and a cape.
Sure.
I don't know why, I'm just like, I'm like that dumb younger brother that's always dressing up or whatever.
Nah, we've been around for 25 years thanks to the community that's coming up.
That makes Jenny super old.
We try not to say anything about that, but we've definitely added a lot of gray hairs to her. But you know what? I think we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for fun. if we weren't committed to it. Because it's a volunteer experience, and we ask the same of ourselves as we ask our volunteers, which is, we get it. We've all got lives. We all got things to do, school. You got to move. You got to start a family, whatever it might be. Maybe you take a break for a minute. But if you don't want to do that, because Otafest means a lot to you, even though it just happens 3 days a year, come on by, help us out.
But the community is a tight-knit community.
Very tight-knit. And it didn't show any better, I think, than last year, in my opinion, where we were back for the first time as a live event after COVID, and we got swamped.
Yeah.
They blew us out. They literally...
It was a success, like a super success. But to the point where you guys were overwhelmed, though.
We were overwhelmed. Yeah. And people know this. This is not like anything that we're not allowed to share. And again, it's the community. Like, they showed up for us. We feel bad that we couldn't accommodate each and everyone's expectations. But like, on the other hand, I cannot express how much relief and gratitude that we can have for the community to be like, we are just a nonprofit con started by a bunch of nerdy friends, and to see how many people say like, this means something to us. I want to show up. I want to cosplay. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to do the thing.
This is like a nerd community, like Asian, like Asian community. No, not Asian, but Asian culture
focus for sure
community. But like this is your guys' Super Bowl.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And then we had a line that was literally over 2 blocks long.
Yeah,
trying to get in. And then and I know, like I said, we own up to that easily, that we sort of failed that expectation of making people letting people get in there. But at the same time, you do not understand how much support that feels like too. Like, it's a double-edged sword. We didn't want to provide the negative experience, but we knew what the underlying message was.
Well, I'm sure the guests recognize that. They're kind of like, they recognize that sorry, just gotta adjust that real quick. Yeah, no, but it's like, I'm sure the guests recognize, like, it's not that they meant to make this thing not as organized. It's like they literally didn't anticipate this much people. Like you do your projections, but when you blow it out of the window, like,
that's basically
that happens at any event. Like, it's like the UFC, for instance. Like, I'm a major combat sports fanatic. Like, there's times where they had to put seats like behind like the projector or whatever. Just at last minute, because like they didn't want to
code a little.
Probably like they didn't want to lose out on all those ticket sales, but like they didn't anticipate like so
just
you guys were beyond sold. You guys were beyond sold out. Last year,
and as a result, and I'm mentioning it here too, just because. We actually had to put a ticket cap for this year. We don't want to provide that negative anymore. We're going to try and do our best to get everybody in. So
are you guys sold out already? Or?
No, we're not sold out yet, but we're we know what ticket sales are like.
When is the festival again?
We are May long weekend, so that's Victoria Day weekend. That's May 19th and 20 through to the 21st. So we don't actually do anything on the May on the Monday holiday. We just do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night features a big concert. We have a pretty good lineup. I need to know when this comes out.
Tonight.
Okay, well then I can't say who it is yet. Okay. But we have a masquerade dance. That's a big event for like the 25th sort of like flagship event that we normally don't do, and that's going to be super, super fun. And then just on top of that, all the like live performers we're going to be getting. We have like traditional arts. We have a lot of course people from just like the anime, manga, K-pop as well. That's huge, right? Like
okay, so I'm gonna put all that information in the show notes if you guys want to. Like, for sure, if you want more details about Otafest and everything like that, for sure, like all the links will be there. They also have a podcast as well. Like Jay and his crew, they do the Otafest podcast. So this is a collab in many ways. Thanks for coming on the Kaks Bar and podcast. Of course. And give their content a listen to as well. I mean, if you love anime, this is a top dog. Like there's Comic-Con and this is like Otafest version of that. But centered more towards like anime. But I do notice when I was walking around downtown, because it's at the TELUS Convention Center, by the way.
Yes.
Everyone, like, I did notice a lot of people just dressing up as like superheroes too, and just like comic book stuff. Like, it's not like necessarily.
We get Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man shows up, man.
Yeah, so it's not like
we don't gatekeep, like I said at the very beginning.
Yeah, basically any form of fantasy culture, like come on down. Yeah,
you come. We've got folks that I've seen in like chainmail. I've seen.
What's chainmail?
Chainmail. Sort of like if you're like a knight, you know, in like a medieval knight, and they've got like plate armor, and they've got like the chainmail is like the small links of chain and stuff that they wear. I've seen, you know,
I'm sorry, I mixed up what I thought you were talking about. Just because I know like Japanese anime, they have a pretty crazy adult side to it too, and chainmail. For some reason, I was thinking like BDSM. Like, so I was kind of like,
not this side.
I think you're at the wrong convention, buddy. You know, but at the same time, what you said, we don't turn anyone away.
No. Yeah. And there are like we focus on being very accessible. That does mean somewhat family friendly, but at the same time, we do have some 18A content that people can drop by. There's like.
Well, people love cosplaying, right? Like, I from what I understand, a lot of like girls go to this event too because they just want to like go all out with their cosplay outfit and everything like that. You know,
there's some wild creative stuff. Like, I have never been specifically in the cosplay alley type of things, but like when I see an outstanding one where I'm just like, because like as a staff member, I don't mean that I don't like cosplay and I don't appreciate it. It's just because my eyes are everywhere else all at once. You know what I mean? Just like during the con. So, but if there is a really cool cosplay,
it'll sink in later how awesome it actually was.
Exactly.
At the time, you're like juggling too many things. Like,
I got to be here. I've got to talk to this guy, and then I've got to figure out this next thing. But when there's like a amazing cosplay, it doesn't have to be like amazing in the sense that like it's gonna win awards. It's just something that like links with you, like you know, nostalgia. You're like, oh, I didn't think I would see this person or this character be represented today, because you know a lot of people just kind of do the super popular stuff, which is great. But then when you get like that one where you're like, oh, this like resonates with me, thanks for showing up. Like, I super appreciate that, and I hope they get that every time too.
Well, that's the entire point of Otafest, is to like go all out with these
oh yeah, you got to fly your flag, man. It's huge.
All right, I got a quick question before we dive into some anime talk here.
Okay.
My brother, where does Alan fit into this too? Like, okay, so again, if Jenny's the empress or like chancellor or like,
I mean, he gets roped in.
Yeah, like and then you're basically like a lieutenant of some sort.
Yeah.
What is Alan like? What is his role?
Because he's kind of a gopher, not gonna lie.
I remember I walked in one day, and like, maybe this is whatever, this is my podcast, so I'm going to tell this story, but like, but I guess he was joking. He had a bunch of people he was like assigning duties to, but he kept calling them slaves or something. And then he
kind of says that,
and then like, but he was doing it in like an anime way, like super hands flying everywhere. And, like,
that's also Alan's style, like 100%.
He's a walking anime. He's like,
he is
when he gets excited. But I remember everyone took it in good, in like everyone knew it was a joke, but I guess I could buy her, but I think I understand like some people like didn't get it, the joke or whatever. So kind of got a bit squirrely there. But anyway, but back to it. Like, so what's Alan's role then? Like, does he outrank you, or like?
Alan doesn't. Well, Alan is like more of a day of staff for us, where we have some numerous positions like that. He's helped us traditionally with like, when I say gopher, I don't mean it in a bad way. He's done a lot of stuff when people need things to be done. But the other role that he's done with his wife, just to help us out, is guest handling. So we have guests, we bring them in, we try and give them a good time. We're like,
I'm obviously joking around, Alan. Like, I know you like play a prominent role, and like you help out, and
he does,
and he
really does,
because like they brought the Quidditch club entire world in there,
Yes,
but even though Quidditch is Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah,
but again, like it's
people show up.
Yeah, it's
evolved. We want you to just be able to be yourself and have a good time. One of the things that we talk about slightly more serious is that, in the last 5 to 10 years, being a nerd, this is the best time probably in the history of the world that it's okay to be a nerd. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it's actually reversed. It's cool now.
You're not getting wedgies and thrown into lockers and meet me after school, that kind of thing anymore. A lot of kids are just happy to be themselves, and but even now, there's still, there's some prejudices, and we can't always get rid of those prejudices. But we try to give people a space where they can just relax and enjoy things and find
Yeah.
other people that enjoy the thing that they do. That's what we do with like anime was exactly that. Like 25 years ago, most people don't know what anime is. They're like, oh, that's a Pikachu. And it's like, yeah, that sure is.
Yeah. Oh, everyone knows what anime is now. Anime is huge. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely grown into a very like more
It's global.
inclusive. It's cool now to be into anime. Like there's this pro fighter named Stylebender, Izzy Adesanya.
Oh, yeah.
So
Adesanya, I've seen him, yeah.
He loves oh my god, what's that? Okay, I'm blanking on the anime that he loves here. Is it Naruto?
It might be Naruto.
No,
but
the last Airbender. Like because
Avatar.
the Avatar, yeah, because his nickname is Stylebender. But so this guy was the middleweight champion of the world, and he's going to fight for the belt again pretty soon here. Like tall, jack black dude, tatted up, but loves nerd culture, like loves it. In fact, when he fought Anderson Silva, he did like he literally fought like he was an anime character, and he did like a pose after.
Yes, I've seen multiple fighters do end poses.
Michael Venom Page,
yeah,
amazing kickboxer. His nickname's MVP for Michael Venom Page, but again, like sleek black dude, but he's from England.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had this one fight where he smashed his opponent, and what he did after was he took out a Pokeball. He rolled it, and then the guy was unconscious.
That's
and
BM.
Then he put his hat. And he did like this with his like.
That's BM.
It was
that's
like
bad manners.
Yeah, BM. Sorry, like
bad manners.
Bad manners.
Not bowel movement.
Yeah,
but it's bad. Yeah,
but again, like
speak, man.
But Michael Venom Page, you would never have thought that he was into nerd stuff.
Oh
right?
wow.
Well, you said that in the car right up here that like that back in the day you didn't really know much about me, like the third Chan sibling.
Yeah.
And then one day I busted out Star Trek talk, and like
exactly.
And it wasn't like light Star Trek talk, like it was a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Like,
it was funny because Shawn was helping out with Otafest because because Jenny's going to rope. Jenny has roped, I believe your mom's helped with Otafest as well.
She?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Alan has like
my dad has though.
I don't know if your dad has.
I
don't know
my dad was like nerds.
yeah, probably just standing like 50 feet back.
He watches his sports.
But like there was like 10 years ago, we were doing this thing for like our arcade gaming area at one time, and Shawn and I were like moving these big ass arcade cabinets, heavy as shit. And in the car, we were just talking about stuff, and out of nowhere comes some Star Trek
talk. That was the
talk.
first time I met you too.
Yeah, it was, and it was funny because like Jenny is very prototypical nerd. She literally works with numbers, and she's like whatever, right? And then Alan is Alan is also Alan makes the sound. Jenny just looks just as nerdy, and Alan is he does sports, but he's also still just like he's more nerdy than he is sports. Like there's not as much of a balance. Shawn is more like definitely more balanced, or at least if you look at Shawn, I think physically you're like 70-80% sure that he's going to be a jock kind of guy. Like he's not gonna be in the nerd. He's not gonna be in the nerd, ecosystem. But yeah, you got straight into that Star Trek talk, and then I've held it in my heart ever since. That I was just like, I know that the Chans just have genetic nerdism. Yeah. And I was like, this is sick.
It goes in the Lee side as well, because like my mom's side of her family, like all our cousins are nerds too. Like, deep down,
Damn,
like they love Star Wars, like science fiction. I mean, but then again, you can't even say that's our quality. I mean, this genre of science fiction, it came from Asia. Like, people love that shit. You know, like just the imagination.
Dragon Ball.
Crazy. Oh, I love Dragon Ball. Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So now we've established it goes Jenny, Jay, and then Alan. So in this ranking situation, Okay, so there you go. We have that on footage, Alan. There you go. So next time,
sorry, Alan.
Yeah, Jay, just order him around, and it's just the way it's gonna be.
I sure will. Actually, well, he's got more family coming on the way. So
Alan's a Papa Bear though. He has 4 kids.
Yeah,
4 kids. Three already,
and one more.
Sorry, I was about to say already out, but I mean like already alive, already existing, and then the 4th one is on the way.
Your family is quite busy with all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but with anime, especially it being something that was different from the the style is different. It's like sometimes it's very cutesy, very cartoony.
Anime has range, man.
Yeah.
Some of it's philosophical, some of it's like
deep.
some
like
of it's
cutscene.
like super corny, some
Yep.
of it's like over the top, like
Yeah, and some of it's just
you know,
standard kid fare.
some
like
standard kid fare.
Yeah, there's no problem with any of that. But I think that it was really interesting to see the sort of flip between, because comics kind of have that same sort of idea where comics are for kids. You know, like that was the
Not
that was
true.
the like no.
Do you think that was always the intent?
Well, that's how they market it, right? Like merchandising, we're
Right.
talking toys
Oh,
and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily the storylines or the characters themselves that they weren't deep enough, but like, you know, if you were in the 1960s and you asked somebody who was like not necessarily a comic book fan, they'd be like, well, it's just Batman running around like doing silly things, right? You know what I mean?
I kind of get what you mean.
But there's that evolution. There's that evolution of that content and understanding of where like storytelling comes from. But anime is interesting because it comes from America.
Anime comes from America?
So before, so this is, I don't want to get too deep, and I'm not a history buff. I'm telling you that right now because I'm gonna get dates wrong. But I think it's World War One. World War One or two. It basically whenever I think it must have been two. Anime exists now because of World War II. Because when American soldiers went over to Japan to set up bases and whatever, they shared some culture, and one of the cultures was comic books. So manga did not exist in the form that we really think of it as before the American sort of influence. So because of that, comic culture influenced manga culture, which created anime.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. So it's almost like the American artists from that era. For instance, like I know they had comic strips in their newspapers like way back in the day.
Yeah.
And like for instance, like Flash Gordon is one of the longest running
classic.
story. Yeah, and Flash Gordon was a copy off of Buck Rogers. But I do notice that almost all major space operas are like have drawn similarities to Flash Gordon.
Yep.
So then, but with that being said, are you saying like the Americans brought over kind of Flash Gordon kind of over to Japan, and then they saw it and they started thinking like, oh, let's draw.
Yeah, this is a new art form for us that we can express our traditions, our stories, our cultures. You know, obviously that's the sort of divide there. It's not just a style of storytelling. It's when an artist and the storyteller puts all the writing and expressive visual medium into this new format, but you get something completely new and different that you didn't think was really related until you really think about where history comes from.
Is that why almost most animes, like the characters are essentially drawn into white people? Is it because of that?
I don't know why that is, actually. That's a really good
because like every anime, everyone's big eyes, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, even as a kid, I was kind of looking around, I was like, we don't have those eyes, like.
I don't know what that is.
Well,
I think
there was that running joke, in Dragon Ball, like all that happens when he turns Super Saiyan is he turns into a blonde white guy.
Yeah,
like
he really does.
Yeah, like.
But actually, I know the story behind that. Why they do Super Saiyan?
What do you mean? Go on.
Like when he was drawing, so Akira Toriyama, when he was drawing Goku, he wanted like the super form. One of the reasons why he's blonde. In the manga, he's not blonde. The hair is just blank. Like it's not. He doesn't have to fill it in.
It just pops up.
It just pops up. He doesn't have to fill it in. That's one of the reasons why he is. I don't like quote unquote blonde. Technically he could be white, like haired or something like that.
It's just a color change.
But it's just easy. It was just easier for him not to have to deal with these fighting scenes now, where he had to like do this new art style of hair plus having to fill in with color or like and not color toning. In the manga.
Oh no! Either way, I thought it looked super cool. Like like I know, but
it looks super sick.
But I was definitely like, it's just things you notice, right? Like it's like every character has like just like multicolored features.
They're not.
Eyes,
I was like, they have green eyes. I'm like, oh yeah, I know I don't know any Asians with green eyes.
yeah, exactly.
That's why colored contacts exist. So I don't know.
I'm not knocking. I'm just describing.
I actually don't know. Like I'll be completely honest. I think it's just like beauty standards or something like that, because when I was in Japan 3 years ago, I was also in Taiwan, and then they have like, people know this generally speaking, but like Asians, but mostly Asian women have like crazy like
Be careful now. What are you about to
hair,
say?
hair and like face and skin routines.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Oh,
they do crazy like creams and like masks and all that kind of stuff.
Well, hold up. A lot of women do that.
They do that, but some of them are like focused on whitening.
Okay.
And like, or keeping the skin light.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to like, I've got what I call like rice.
Are you talking about like geisha models and stuff? Because like,
kind of in
Japan,
a sense,
they always made themselves
in
like,
the
white,
past,
super white, right?
Yeah, that was like a type of beauty standard.
Mm.
So that's kind of a thing too. I've got what I call like rice peasant skin. I work. My family worked in the fields.
Okay.
That's what I feel like that came from.
Did my family work in the fields?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I have no idea, but
Yeah.
just like they like the paleness and lightness instead of like being like I guess a more natural skin color, being tanned.
Who knows? I mean, like I'm sure we can research this and notice some correlations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna switch gears here. Like, let's get in some anime talk now.
Sure,
like,
man.
What are some of the ones you liked, and which ones drew you into even
starting?
This entire genre. Like, because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't followed anime nearly as much as when I was a kid, obviously.
Same.
But the kid ones are, excuse me, like
No worries.
ingrained in me. Like
you can see them in your head, and the lines.
I still watch them to this day. Yeah, like I mean, like I will. If I have like half hour to kill at night, like sometimes I put on like some old Cowboy Bebop,
dude.
or like
Tank, that opening song. Like,
yeah.
yeah, so good, right? That bass line. Actually, funny because like there's a lot of. I think you'd say this for any media. There's a lot of classic stuff that I haven't watched. I only watched Cowboy Bebop for the first time over a pandemic.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, talking about the anime or the remade Netflix?
Anime.
Okay. You didn't like the Netflix one?
I didn't want to get into that one because I was just like, I don't know. I don't like derivative media as much. I like the original stuff.
Okay. I do gotta say it was good though. You should give it a shot. They did deviate a lot from the regular storyline towards the end, but I think they nailed it. I was really sad that they didn't get renewed. I
wonder why they didn't. Like, do you feel like it was just like everyone saying that it wasn't good enough, or do you think there was something else behind the scenes?
I'm not sure. I just know that the last, whatever. Like, if you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, I don't even care if it's spoilers because that show has been around for like 30 something years. No, but like at the very last. Oh wait, do you want it? Know what happened?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because like
I will forget eventually. So
yeah, well, like Julia in it just ends up becoming the bad guy.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. She doesn't die, and she just becomes a bad guy, and then like this just becomes like this bumbling fool that she like controls behind the scenes. Like, so again, like that was
the character motivation changes a lot.
It was a completely different show because that ending. But leading up to it, it was like they were drawing from popular episodes and Kevin Cho. Is it Kevin Cho? No, John Cho.
John Cho.
John Cho nailed it as Spike.
Yeah.
He was super ripped and jacked.
I did watch like the first episode. I just didn't continue past. I was like, maybe. But we'll say. Right. But I thought they did like it looked right. I remember thinking that the truth is that anime line delivery is built for anime, and they try to actually like have the characters say like their standard lines almost. Doesn't quite work.
Me and growing up when I watched anime with Jenny and Alan, like that was one of our things. Like we'd get together on the couch as kids, and like Jenny always had Jenny picked them all out. Like I
she knew
like just when I thought there's a good one, like she shows me another one when I'm like, oh,
amazing.
And Alan was balls deep into it too, and like like we always watched it in Japanese with English subtitles because like it's just such a different show when they throw the English dub on it. And
also, like,
especially Dragon Ball, for instance, right?
English dubs didn't really catch up for a long time. They're much better now, but like back in the day, I think Cowboy Bebop is probably one of the few like people generally say that's an exception. Like the English,
I actually never watched the English. I've only watched it in Japanese.
I've never seen it in English either, but I've heard specifically
that it was okay.
That it is like a really good exception, especially for its time. That being said, someone could tell me that that's just wrong. And I was like, I don't mind at the end of the day. Like you enjoy your media how you want. I am with you on the Japanese Japanese audio, English subtitles. Listen to in the original quality and sound design.
Like I can't say that's for everyone because, for instance, like on Netflix, you have you seen Castlevania?
Yes.
Yeah, like I love Castlevania.
Yes.
And I still have to finish
pretty
it. I didn't see every single episode yet, but it's something that I'll just rewatch for. I love that show. I love Trevor Belmont, the main character.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in many ways, I think like, man, what would he do in real life? And like, I just love his cool, calm, collected.
Yeah.
Like he's a typical hero archetype, but he's like, I don't know, he's just a man.
He's a little,
But that voice acting was spot on. Like I don't need to see the Japanese version. I was like,
the other thing is like there is sort of something to the idea where it's nice to have it in English sometimes if English is like your first language, for example. So you do the thing with you can do with every other show that's in English where you don't have to pay 100% of attention to it. Yeah. You can be doing like a chore or some other thing and have it running in the background. Whereas with anime, if you don't know Japanese very well, then you're gonna need to focus up. It's not a chore, but it's definitely a more focused, you know, experience. You can't just let go of it so easy. So that's sort of the downside. But going back to some of the like starter animes, I think the main one for me was still like Dragon Ball Z. Like, you know, you got Goku running around kicking ass and like, fighting Piccolo.
Dragon Ball Z though, right?
Dragon Ball Z.
Did you like GT or did you like
not GT?
Yeah.
Not
See,
GT.
Like I think Z, the Cell Saga, the Boo Saga, actually basically those two were like
the main
best.
heavy. Yeah.
Oh, and all the movies they had like circling around that area. Like
basically that time was like prime.
To me, everything past Super Saiyan 3, I feel like still good, but like
a little much.
The best was just OG Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just emotional too, you know, like Goku dying and then go on like
or the first time that like he turned Super Saiyan, right? Like going back to that, like Krillin just your best friend that's been with you throughout this whole time just poofs. He just dies, get killed by the main baddie, Frieza, and like that just awakens like something in him. And like I think as a kid I must have seen that scene like probably 200 300 times.
I still YouTube it, especially the scene where Gohan kicks into Super Saiyan because
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, people were nerding out hard right now, you know, like it's like it's just
and those are simple beginnings, because I'm going to say that, you know, in the grand scheme of anime, Dragon Ball is not the most like well written, or like the characters are not the most well developed.
They power up for like 4 episodes,
and they're like, "Oh, you can't defeat me." It's like, "Oh, I have a new form." It's
such basic dialogue. Like,
it's for kids.
Strongest, you know,
it's absolutely for kids, except for the weird blood and just crushing people and stuff.
But the storyline, it got pretty dark. Remember that parallel universe storyline where Gohan's missing an arm and Trunks is like,
alternate
like,
universe,
because Android 18
Future.
and Android 16. Was it 17 and 18?
It was 17 and 18, and basically Goku dies of a heart virus.
Yes.
And then that creates an alternate universe where he can't save the universe, sort of.
But it's Android 18 and 17 that were unbeatable or some shit. Yeah, that was a dark storyline. That's not made for kids at all.
But I think that comes in like in the latter half of.
And what else isn't made for kids is like, you got this little pig pervert character running around the middle of all this storyline.
See, but in Japan that was okay.
Which again, I find like Japanese culture so fascinating. Like where they have their.
Have you ever been?
I've never been to Japan, no. But I've watched a bunch of anime, and also like just, you know, Jenny's my sister, so like. So like I'm always like back in the day growing up listening to her explaining all this stuff, and you know, and like Japanese culture is fascinating. Like it really is. Like I mean, like they're very gender fluid too. Like the first like major culture to like kind of bring in like you remember Ranma One Half. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, like Jenny loved that series.
Absolute classic. Nobody in Japan at least would be like, that's, you know,
there's some really wrong. Good ones too, like this one's what was it called? I think it was called Tenchi Muyo.
Oh, Tenchi Muyo. Yeah,
Jenny,
I've never
Jenny
seen
showed me that one. El Hazard.
Oh,
love that
You're
one.
bringing up some
Oh
deep
yeah, I
cuts. Some
loved
old,
El Hazard, Attention Muyo.
yeah,
I watched
super
some
classic.
Ramen One Half with Jenny.
Yeah,
Trigun. Yeah, that was
yeah.
those were
Trigun's coming up with a new. Oh,
yeah.
Trigun's coming up with like a remake coming out, or I think it's maybe just started. It's very close to just starting up.
like a remake anime again.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
remake anime again. It's got some like 3D
I'll
aspects.
have to look. I really love Trigun, like the
I feel
OG.
that.
I
Yeah.
almost was like, I don't want to mess with that. Like that's perfect. The way it was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't like that and Cowboy Bebop, the anime, like even the movie. Like I don't need to see a whatever you call it, OVA version or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
You
those,
just
those
need-
are perfect.
Yeah.
Like those will be timeless till I'm dead.
But I mean, I
You
think
know,
the
I think anyway.
the good thing is, and you can compare it to Bebop as well with the live action. Even if you didn't like the live action, the truth is the original still exists. They can't take that
Yeah,
away from
they
you.
can't,
You
no.
can always watch that back.
Yeah.
Um,
What a great show.
You
I
know.
gotta watch it again. I'm just like thinking about it. Like, yeah.
I feel like I'm a little bit younger than you, Shawn. Sorry.
Are you? I don't even know. How old are you?
I'm 32.
32. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool,
So
cool,
like
cool.
not by a whole lot, but like I kind of was raised in more, like with more. I'm gonna say like kind of garbage shows. Like when I first got into it, which I was like,
yeah, there is bad anime.
yeah,
out
there's
there,
like there's two sort of eras for me of when I watched anime. When I was a kid, and it's literally the equivalent of Saturday morning cartoons for me.
Yeah.
And then the second era is like when I'm 13 and kind of figuring out things that I like. You know what I mean? Like you're figuring out music that you like, clothes that you like, style, and culture.
Yeah.
In this case, it was weeaboo culture, anime culture. Sorry, weeaboo is
Weeboo.
yeah, weeaboo. I think you've heard of it, but basically it's people who it's a derogatory term, I would say, but it's not like the worst thing. It's just in tongue in cheek, but it's basically like people who want to be Japanese.
Oh.
They're not just like they're not just
Jenny a
into-
weeboo.
I think we're all slightly a weeb.
Okay.
But the truth is like, you know, there's a difference between like I appreciate Japanese culture and anime, or I wish I went to Japanese school so that I could, you know, live a Japanese life. And it's like, well, that's a little different. Like you're going a little too hard.
No, I just said
No,
like
don't
that,
do it
but-
because I think there's a little bit of a. I think there's a stigma. There's definitely a difference between appreciating something and just being like a Mary Sue, injecting yourself in that fictional lifestyle.
But many people like things for different reasons, right? You know, so it's like
It's true,
Yeah,
but
like-
you got.
like you
I think
never know.
you walk the line. You have to walk the line of understanding what is real life and what is not.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That's
I see
what
what
I'm
you're
kinda
saying.
saying.
Yeah. The but
not self-inserting yourself into again, just like like I've seen it in anime. This is what life is in Japan must be like. I want to
Yeah,
live
it's
that
just-
idea, that weird ideal. Don't do that.
yeah.
That
Okay.
is that. Like, be healthy
I
about
kind
it. Be
of
healthy
get
about
what
it.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyways, the point is that my second sort of era of anime watching was a lot of stuff that wasn't great. Like Trigun was good, but then I watched stuff like D and Angel, which is not great.
I don't even know what that one is.
Yeah, it's there was an era where like they were just they like animes were just really being pushed out a lot.
Oh, like okay,
And
yeah,
they
no,
were
that's
just
true.
kind of like
you can
like
see, you can see some product is just like we have a deadline,
yeah,
like pump these out. We have a contract with you, and they're like, oh, okay, same
Yeah.
storyline except this time it's a guy and he shoots lasers with his finger. I don't know,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know,
No,
like-
that's exactly it. They're,
Yeah.
and you know, when you're young, you don't really know the difference. There's not like a lot of quality control you have when you're young. Especially, I find that when you're getting into something new, you're like, you don't know if this is good, so you should probably just get on with it, and
Wasn't-
like, you know what I mean?
Okay, hold on. No, wasn't like the OVAs the kind of better version of all these animes, and then the animes are kind of like the more factory pushed out episodes, like.
Some of it, yes.
you know
Some
what
of
I
it, no. OVAs, original video animation, I think is what they called it.
Because the
or something
OVA
like that.
for El Hazard was way better than the actual long
No.
drawn out 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, that sort of
show,
counts
right?
for
You know?
like Helsing. I don't know if you ever heard of Helsing, but it's like the original one was like okay, but the Helsing Ultimate that came out, which is kind of an OVA, that focused more on like the original manga and the original story focus, and as a result, it also had better animation, better music, just things that like they up the quality a lot. So they do that a lot. But when I'm talking about trash, I'm talking just about like they were looking to. they were sort of what Hollywood kind of does now, where they're like, is that remotely popular? Let's take it. Let's make a show out of it. Let's see how it goes, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and that's kind of happening with like Netflix, for example, right?
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, because you're right. Netflix just seems to have like all these random anime shows that are kind of like somewhat similar to the other one.
Yeah,
you can tell
is that good or not good?
It's no different than, you know, like back in the day when there was like Power Rangers came out, and
Oh,
all of a sudden there's PR Trooper.
Yeah,
but like they're basically the same show, except
exactly.
like, so like you can tell that this is just a money grab.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I don't like those kind of animes. I always like the stuff that has some meaning to it, and we're you know, because like the animes. I mean, you remember Macross?
Oh yes,
like the original Macross. I'm not talking about the original because that one was like 1970. Like there was the one where, you know, like the girl at the end singing that song to power up all the humanity while they're like battling the aliens, and then the aliens are like guys and girls separated gender wise, and so like it's so funny how like in that storyline. For people who don't know what Macross is, it's a science fiction space opera, but in the storyline, it's way in the future where humanity is just existing now on the Macross ship, and the Macross ship actually transforms into a huge fighting soldier unit. But this ship's so big, there's literally like cities in there. But in the future, there's this massive rift between two alien species, not including humans. These two separate alien species, they're just guys and girls. Like so it's like and the guys like roll. Like over this side of the universe, the women roll on this side of the universe, and I don't know, I forget the deeper part of the storyline with how they explain how they still procreate or whatever, but in that storyline there was some kind of weird foreshadowing with because, you know, I feel like there is kind of like a gender war in real life now and like brewing, and like but in Macross, like the writers had such like foresight to kind of see like there's this potential gender issue that in this science fiction realm, in respects to the storyline, like this is probably the extreme.
There's middle ground.
That's the extreme circumstance. Like the men become this and the women become this. But what I thought was funny was like, so when the men and women, because like, spoiler alert, at the end of Macross, the men and women alien species come back together, and then they realize it was their governments that were enforcing this divide,
splitting them up.
So then they end up attacking their own leaders, and then the Macross ship was in the middle joining the war, and then in the end it kind of like brought on a brighter future, if you will, where like things kind of become back more unified or whatever. But what I thought was funny was like the guys, when it shows them without women, they mutate into these like slob green things, like worst hygiene ever.
You mean like actual men?
Like they're just so gross, and then like, but then the women end up becoming like this race of like elegant, beautiful chicks. Like
they don't need us.
Like literally what I got was the women really don't need the men at all, but the men are like become these gross, weird, like Neanderthal.
It was a window into the truth.
So I was sitting there, I was like, huh.
Yeah,
I was like, like, you know, but
anime has always had a pretty good, you know, like the sort of really well recognized animes, they've always had like a little bit of that window into the future about like of what cultural truths might be.
The writers are very smart. They're very like they're basically sociologists, in my opinion. Like,
absolutely.
Like they're totally like seeing what's going on, and then like, because in the future of so many animes, like gender becomes this more fluid thing, because, and look what we're seeing now in real life, right? Like as a civilization
understanding that there's more, it's not just 1 and 2, there's everything in between.
Exactly. Right? Like so I thought that was very interesting.
I watched so one of the shows that I watched that's ongoing is one of like the biggest animes of all time,
Pokemon?
Which is no, I've never kept up with Pokemon actually, but I like Pokemon. I just never watched the show. One Piece is the big one. Your brother's super into
One Piece. Like I know what that is, but I've never watched that one. So that's good, hey?
Yeah, Alan is super into it. Alan and Lauren both. Lauren's his wife, and it's so the manga is still further ahead, because, you know, with any sort of written schedule, they're always going to be further ahead. The anime itself has like 1,200 episodes still, and they're still going.
Holy shit! How long has One Piece been around then?
I remember One Piece as coming over to at least Canada since, I think I must have been about 15.
Okay, so it's like running almost 17 years. Right?
Yeah, something like that. Like it's crazy long. so many episodes, very diverse cast, and I don't mean like diverse in the like social sense. It's just like they have a skeleton, they have a robot, they have a reindeer.
Okay.
I know that like out of context that sounds weird. I meant diverse in the global sense of diverse. They just have
Okay.
a lot of things going on.
I'll have to watch it. I really don't know the first thing actually about One Piece. I just
Yeah.
heard the name many times. Like
Yeah.
I know it
Well,
it exists, but
one of the reasons why it's so big, other than like, oh, it's a fairly easy to digest show. There's not like too much depth into it most of the time. Like they're just figuring out how they want to complete their objective. They're a bunch of pirates. They want to go get the big treasure that the last super pirate dude left behind before he got executed.
Okay,
That's like
okay.
the main overarching idea of the show. And the captain, Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, he just wants to be the best pirate there ever was, and he needs to go get that treasure. He needs to figure out what it was. It doesn't necessarily mean it's gold and stuff like that, but he needs to figure out, like, that's the meaning of life in this show. And even though you have like a bunch of different characters, you have enemies that are all across the board. One of the really cool things that it does is that it gives you the backstory for almost every character, like every major notable character. So of course, like Luffy's story because he's the main guy, but you also know his shipmates, like all like their relations to each other, why they're fighting for each other, why they're taking on this challenge. The bad guys on the other side, why are they here? Why are they, doing this? Why are they opposing them? Like you know about like this dark history that's underlying all of it. They give you a lot of story, and it's not just because there's 1,200 episodes and going and we need to put in story. It's because they actually want to storytell. On the other hand, you do have Dragon Ball, which has a bunch of episodes as well, but you never learn about why Cell cares to destroy the world.
Cell? Well, I think Cell has basically, he's a clone. Cell's a
Cell,
group of everyone, right? So
he's a group of everybody.
He has a bit of Frieza in him.
He does.
Then he has a bit of.
But where's his good side?
Isn't he just all the evil essentially?
No, but because he has good characters in him. He has the DNA of some good characters in him.
Right.
So now you wonder, why don't they give you, the backstory for why is Cell just bad? It's like, well, is he just genetically programmed to be bad? No, it's because they just wanted him to be bad. But in One Piece, you find out exactly who they are. Sometimes they're just a piece of crap, not gonna lie, but sometimes it's because they feel like they've been wronged in this way and they're trying to right their wrong. Right?
Okay.
So
interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check out One Piece for sure.
It's the biggest thing right now.
Is it? It's like
it's the absolute biggest thing. There's always some other like hype anime that comes in every season, and that's good stuff. But you're talking about like it's generationally good.
Yeah,
it's One Piece.
Okay, definitely. I'll definitely have to check that one out.
It's just 1,200 episodes. No bigs.
Hey, there's some like I'm pretty. Actually, I don't even know anymore. I was about to say like, hey, I'm so caught up in pop culture. I'm like, I actually know I've definitely been falling off. Like one of my things is like, for instance, like I've actually never seen a full Harry Potter movie. You know what I mean? And yet
that's interesting.
That thing's huge in the world. But,
yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, but I'm with it with all the other big ones. I
can match that
and all that. And
I've never seen a full Indiana Jones movie.
Can you get the fuck out of here? Like, this thing is over.
Yeah, man. This was nice. Thanks for coming.
No, thanks. Get out. Give me that water back.
No.
I'm disgusted. This is mine. I'm offended. Well, hey,
I just never got into it.
You should definitely watch Indiana Jones, man. Like, it's good.
I've seen bits and pieces because we have like TVs at work. But we can't focus.
Okay, but again, like it's one of those things like me. Like, well, how come I haven't seen Harry? Actually, I know why I haven't seen Harry Potter. But
really,
yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just like the other day I was watching with my fiance, and like it was like she loves it so much, but like I just remember like that.
Whoa! You're in the zone of you have a fiance and she loves it so much, and you still haven't seen it with her.
Yeah, no.
Like, okay, that's different from me just being like, I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, she tried to. Okay, like she tried to. Okay, I'm not. Okay, let's not compare our cluelessness to some social phenomenons here, but no, definitely you're definitely more weird than me if you haven't seen Indiana Jones. But yeah, but I just remember the Quidditch scene, like when that very first time, like she's Jess is just like being like, oh man, this is so awesome, blah blah. I'm sitting there like, okay, I have a lot of questions, like where are the parents? You know, like how are they signing?
Where are the
Why are they
parents?
signing off on this like negligent activity where you're flying 100 meters with like on a broom and you might fall off and die? Like
Yeah.
how come no one has reported all these missing kids like in England?
Magic, dude.
Magic, like
there are no missing kids
you know what I
in
mean?
Magic
Like
Britain.
like how about like I mean the real horror show isn't all the bad guys and crap. It's just like Harry Potter's domestic situation, the way he's living.
True.
Like, I mean, I'm just like there's so many more like problems going on here, and then and then in the midst of all that, I'm like, well, yeah, magic. Like, why do you have to wear glasses? I don't know. Like, it's just he's like, I just had so many questions that just like, and then and it got to the point where I ruined it for Jess, and she's just like, okay, we just turn this off. We don't want to actually watch this, and I was like, no, and then like 2 more seconds in, I'm like, yes, turned off. But like for whatever reason, I just couldn't get into it, which I don't get because I like fantasy. I do like fantasy, and like I love like Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah,
I love Castle in the Sky. I like Princess Mononoke. I like
that's fair,
and like those are magical animes.
Let me ask you that. So when did you first watch those? Like the like fantasy anime, such as like Ghibli movies.
Honestly, like I mean, ever since I was like
born,
really. Like I mean, because like when I was 3 already, anime was being shoved down my face. Like just because mom would go rent Dragon Ball Z for us because she's like, you know what, I know the kids will like this. Yeah, so I've been watching fantasy anime basically since I've earliest memories, really.
So I think so. I have something that's similar. Where over COVID, I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now that's technically a cartoon, it's whatever, but a lot of folks really like it. I don't hate it, but I did watch all of it. It was a little bit hard for me to get through. I think it's just because I didn't watch it when it first sort of came out, and I was not younger. Where it is a little bit more story focused towards a younger audience. That could be probably it, because let's be honest, like.
No, but Harry Potter has like
it has dark undertones later.
Well, it also has a lot of like like Jordan Peterson, for instance, like the Jordan Peterson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like he draws parallels to Harry Potter all the time. He talks about like.
I get that, but like
there's that to. So I don't know what it is. I just have a block,
but
for some reason.
Maybe it just doesn't like hook you like a way it could have when you were younger. I think, or like when it first came out, or when the ideas were fresher.
But honestly, like the same reason why for some reason you haven't seen Indiana Jones is the same reason why I haven't seen Harry Potter. I don't know. Like it's just
at the end of the day, I'm not motivated to go and like grab into it. If I go to a friend's house and they put on Indiana Jones, that's when I'm gonna watch Indiana Jones. That's what's gonna happen.
We'll
you know
invite you over one day. We'll just
it just happens to be
put on the last Crusade. The third one is the best one.
Yeah. Are you gonna jump in the theaters for the next one? The Dial?
Yeah, I can't believe
something or other.
I am not gonna lie. I never watched the fourth one.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like I mean,
is it the fifth one that's coming out then?
Yeah, the fifth one's coming out.
Because the other one is the weird one, right?
The fourth one was just it was different because the first 3 you can tell it's the same style.
It's a true trilogy.
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. And the just the character of Indiana Jones is just what an alpha badass. Like like.
I mean, I've seen like the whip scene. The whip scene's pretty sick. Where they're
he always has a whip.
No, the guy like where they're fighting in some sort of like courtyard, and I think the guy either has a gun, and it's like everyone's surrounding him in the plaza, and I think Indy just like whips out the gun or whatever. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
but it's a scene with like.
Well, there's a scene with a guy like he's throwing his sword around, and then Indiana Jones just like, I don't have time for this. So he shoots a guy, and then
that's pretty good. Yeah, I haven't seen that. But yeah. And it's one of those maybe one day things.
Actually, fucking now I think about it, Batman copied that, like the original one with Michael Keaton. Except Batman doesn't use guns, but
he's got the batarangs and
no, he just there's a scene where this guy he has 2 swords, he's swinging it around like aggressively, like doing all the showmanship to be like, what the fuck you up, Batman? Yeah. Batman's just like stares at him and he like kicks him right in the chest. And like that was it. And then he just kind of has this look in his face like, all right, where was I? Like kind of thing. Like,
who's your favorite live action Batman?
Christian Bale. Christian Bale, yeah.
It's not a bad choice. I think he's overall he's like the strongest contender.
Those 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies I'll watch for the rest of my life. At least like once every few months I put them on. Like I love the Christopher Nolan Batmans. I love the Heath Ledger Joker. Mm-hmm. That Bane thing. Like me and Cass still talk like Bane all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like just for no reason.
I like Bane the character from the comics. I don't actually read a lot of comics, but I know his characterization from the comics. I appreciate what they did with him in that movie. I just
Tom
don't.
Hardy killed it.
Yeah, I just don't generally appreciate Bane in like the cartoons, except for Harley. Have you watched Harley?
Yeah, I haven't seen Harley, but
You really need to.
I watched
100%.
well, I watched Suicide Squad, and she was in that.
Okay.
But I didn't.
But I'm talking about the cartoon. You know, the cartoon I'm talking
I
about.
thought you were talking about like her recent movie.
No.
Prey.
No.
I remember being like, "This is stupid." Like,
No.
like I couldn't get through it.
You genuinely should watch the Harley cartoon that came out. I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, and they're still going. All the characterizations are hilarious. They're great.
I just remember Alan and we used to like, because like there's this one video game. I think it was Street Fighter versus Marvel. I think.
No, it'll probably be Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, is that what it was? But like, but there's
Capcom
a scene where I think Sabretooth is one of the characters, like, and then he'll like you sub in Harley Quinn for a second to come help, and Harley brings out a gun, and then I think this is how it goes. I could be botching this. Alan already knows what I'm talking about, but like Sabretooth would be like, Harley, and then she comes in, she goes, yes boss, and then she like shoots the bad guy or whatever, but that yes boss, like I don't know,
it's
what
just
it
like burned into your mind.
yeah,
it's like core memory.
Me and Alan would look at each other like, yes boss, like yes boss, like it's just like the way she says it, like, and then I don't know, it's just there's these weird little like one-liners that just stand out, like, you know, like sometimes I'll like, I don't know, I caught myself at work a few times just saying that, like, you know, my boss was like saying something like, yes boss, and then he's kind of like, excuse me, I'm like, nothing, you know?
Sorry sir. Yes sir.
He's like, no, I get the reference, but like, don't say it like that again, like, you know.
And then you say,
oh, sorry boss, like, you know, like,
exactly. But yeah, no, I think that franchise has evolved very interestingly as well, because I remember I recently saw the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Oh yeah,
that's a sick.
Yeah, that's
good.
A
sick movie.
Perfect. Thank God you said you liked it.
It's good.
Because I'm not gonna lie,
the only bad thing. There's one bad thing to me. He's too emo.
Well, I know.
He is way too emo.
Well, like there was a lot of production issues with that. Apparently, like he came into film and he wasn't jacked, and then they're like, Robert, we have it in our contract. You're supposed to come in at least 185 pounds. And kind of like jacked like every other Batman. And then apparently they filmed around him for like 3 months, giving him time to get in shape. But then he came back again, and he still looks exactly the same. Then they're like, Robert, like, why didn't you get in shape? And then he's just kind of like, dude, I'm not getting in shape. Like, literally just because he didn't want to. He's just like, no, I'm going to play Batman like this. And we're talking about young Batman here, right? I'm supposed to be 25. Like, this is my first few years being Batman. Like I'm like, I can get by saying I didn't have all that muscle mass or whatever.
Sure.
You know? And I was sitting there thinking like, all right. And then, but that was what I heard was going on before the show, the movie came about.
Yeah.
But then when the movie first came about, I was thinking to myself, like Robert Pattinson, like, fuck,
of course everybody's like, well, he's the Twilight dude.
The Twilight dude, right? Yeah. And even speaking of which, like, what a ridiculous storyline that is, you know, like you're a couple 100-year-old vampire, and the first thing you do is you go hang out at high school. You're like seriously,
that's
you're
that's a problem.
That's a problem. Like,
I don't care what you look like,
but also
mentally, that's a problem.
Yeah, like you're that, like that's as far as you've evolved.
Yeah, in terms of like
hundreds and hundreds of years.
I'm pretty sure you want to find someone more cultured at that time.
Yeah, I would imagine by then you've done a bunch of stuff, you know. But no, you hang out and you're like
that high school girl.
That high school girl too. Like that's the queen bee. Hey, like that's the most popular girl. Like, I don't know. There was just so much where I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, you know, like, and then like in the midst of all this, you got like some fucking Abercrombie and Fitch werewolf guy. Like, like I'm just anyway. I like again, but so. That like, and again, I never was able to concentrate enough to finish all of Twilight. I just thought it was way too ridiculous. You know, but anyway, but then when you told me he was about to be Batman,
you might not have been the core audience.
Yeah,
Twilight, maybe.
What do you mean? What do you mean, bro? What are you saying?
I'm saying I'm gatekeeping from Twilight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you guys don't gatekeep.
We don't. Me.
Okay.
This is me.
But anyway, Pattinson, like, I finally reluctantly watched it. I'm like, well, I heard Colin Farrell's in it, so let's see. And, you know, Zoe Kravitz did a good job too. And
dude, I could not recognize Colin
Farrell. Dude, he killed it. He killed it. I love Colin Farrell. One of my favorite actors. But when I saw it, it was good. I was like, props, Robert Pattinson. Yeah. Props. Like he and the emo thing, I think it worked out because he's young and dumb right now.
There's
right?
these scenes though. Right? There's these scenes though where he's in this by the way, the city is a normal city, okay? But he's in his
What do you-
ultra gothic. No, like the city itself is not like the English countryside or some like super historic kind of looking city. It looks like Pittsburgh, okay?
Pittsburgh is like that.
No. But in
No,
his house, he's like it's so super ultra gothic design, and it's like it's very dark and moody and Castlevania-y, right?
Yeah, but wasn't that always the Wayne family's house? Because
But it's just I think the transition is just too harsh as opposed to like the Chris Nolan films where there is still that, but it's not like as heavily like it doesn't look as stylistically gothic. So the reason I say it's too emo is because there's just shots of him where he has like his stuff laid out on the floor trying to figure out like the crime or whatever, but he's like he's unreasonably shirtless, and he still has his black eye makeup on.
Yeah.
And his hair's just doing the
Yeah.
droop thing,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
Yeah.
what is it?
And
And I was just like, okay, this is a bit much. Everything else pretty good, but
yeah, you're right. Like you're like, why you still have your eyeliner on?
yeah,
at
man,
that
like
point?
go take a shower. Like you know
Yeah.
what, you were just fighting some crime. I get it,
Go
but
take
you
a
know what,
shower.
like freshen up, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought that movie's great. In fact, I think I tried watching it again like a couple nights ago. But anyway, no, I thought they killed it. And Robert Pattinson, like props, sir. Like I thought you're stupid in Twilight, but yeah, no, like that was good Batman.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still would like him to be Jack though, just because I'm into
might be
like
in the
muscle
next
building culture and everything.
He might be in the next movie. There'd be more
Is he
reason
really?
for him.
But
to
James
be,
Gunn
right?
took over now, so like he's redoing. I mean, from what I understand, I could be way again.
Fair.
Cass will correct me on this. Is his wheelhouse, but yeah, like from what I understand, they kind of squashed everything. They're gonna redo it, like because like
Ooh.
DC, unlike Marvel, had just the writers were all over the place.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, so now they're like trying to like
Rejig it, right?
Yeah, make it more can make sense again, right?
Mhm.
Like too many cooks in the kitchen, if you will, happen with the DC guys. But,
I just hope they do something with the whole like Asylum Joker ending that they gave you, right?
Yeah,
like
they
you
worked
like
that
you
hard
know
to
what's
create
coming.
that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like please make sure you have something figured out there, whether that's including like Harley in there, whether you know you're going to have a Robin. I don't really want a Robin, but I don't know.
Yeah. The no, I don't like. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. If they will be doing a sequel or not, but I'll watch it again if it's the same guys again. Like fuck yeah, you know. I was about to say something else about Robert Pattinson, but I think I've picked on him enough.
Yeah, he's crying right now with his millions. Just you know, like these guys, these two Asian dudes.
Oh god, yeah. Like he cares what we think. Yeah, true,
no. I just love the idea. It's like I always say it's the same thing as Olympics. You watch the Olympics or like any major sporting event, and like, oh, look at this scrub. He's not doing anything at all, and you're just like sitting back with your beers and you know, like Cheetos and just whatever. Like, oh, look at that guy. He's just falling down.
I get what you're saying. Like in reality, Jay, you and I are very disrespectful motherfuckers, right? Now, like you know how much it took to make that movie, and we're just sitting here like.
But yeah,
like,
I always love it.
Yeah, but isn't that nerds anyway? Nerds are always be like Simpsons make fun of the comic book guy. You know, he's always like worst episode ever. Like,
oh yeah, it's a huge thing.
You know, it's like I'm like that's us, right? You know,
there's that, and I don't ever want to subscribe to it. I want to know if I've ever been like that. I don't think so, but like fandoms can ruin the fan experience for other people. A lot of folks like rip on Star Wars, for example.
Of course, right? But Star Wars is amazing. By the way, I'm a big Star Wars guy too. But the last
like 3 movies or the last
one was nonsensical as fuck.
But it's okay. But it's okay to not like it. It's not okay to like annihilate other people for liking it.
No.
That's what
like,
I'm getting.
Hold up. The last Star Wars you absolutely need to annihilate. It made no fucking sense.
No. But you don't annihilate other people. You can annihilate the movie. You can annihilate the movie. You can annihilate the storytelling. But you don't ruin, especially because a lot of it's for kids.
Fucking Binks, like I mean, geez, like
where's Darth Jar Jar?
Darth Jar Jar. Anyway,
yeah, you know about that?
No, I don't. The Jar Jar thing, Binks thing, like I was like, some people are like, oh, like come on, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, shut your mouth. like what a not like a nonsense character.
I mean, it's not a good character, but like it really comes down to a lot of the stuff that nerd fandom is built around is
Me's a
for
douchebag, like
for
fucking,
kids.
like that's Jar Jar Binks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
But a lot of it is like there's not a lot of major fantasy franchises that I can name that I think that are just for adults and the tastes of adults and the expectations of adults. Things that are like, you know, anything from Star Wars to Dragon Ball Z to any other anime or whatever.
They always have a tinge for the kids, kind of.
Yeah. Like it's supposed to be like, and I'm not even saying that it's because they're marketing.
Oh,
shit.
I don't know, man. Ninja Scroll. I don't think any of that was meant for kids.
I don't know what that one is.
You haven't seen Ninja Scroll?
No.
Ninja Scroll is wow, dude. Wait, like it's one of the most popular animes of all time. It's a movie, Ninja Scroll. Yeah,
I don't know that one.
Okay,
not off the top of my head. Maybe I'm just blanking.
For sure, you'll know it when I show you the cover. You'll be, oh yeah, it was that. You know, like
I mean, that's probably exactly.
I would think
what it
so.
Is.
I mean,
but I know that I can probably tell you that I don't think I've watched.
It's crazy, man. Like it's just this ninja Ronin character in medieval Japan. Like,
I mean, that just sounds
watch
a
it again, but it's super gory, super bloody.
No,
there's a rape scene in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, like you know, like with this
but I
demon
mean,
and this girl. Like, nothing about that was for kids.
Yeah,
you know?
But I mean, that's not the majority, right? Like you talk about like any comic series or any like again most of the mainstream franchises that you have out there, that Harry Potter, for example, right? Like there's a lean towards the kids because for whatever reason, again, you could be very skeptical and just say it's marketing purposes. You can get kids on the merchandise and all that stuff, but the truth is like I don't like ruining things for other people. I can still hate on it very heavily by myself. You know what I mean? Like I agree that the last episode of Star Wars sucks major ass.
okay, like hold on, like you got me thinking about that, right? Like, okay, one of those Star Destroyers are supposed to be like the size of like a fucking city.
It's insane.
So how much staff do you think has to be in there to run that ship? Like, you know, like the
countless,
fuel,
like
the
literally
electricity, the food, the logistics. Anyway, and then you're telling me the fleet of them were hidden in that ice world while the Emperor was being kept alive by, like, again, I don't even fucking know how he was alive, because like, was he incinerated? Like in Return of the Jedi, he was like incinerated when he fell in, like when Darth Vader threw him over the balcony or whatever. Like, you know, like it's like he was like there's that explosion that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like all of a sudden he's back, and then like. And all of a sudden, you know, like Rey's his granddaughter, and then I'm like, hey, what happened with that?
That's why she's so powerful.
What happened with that Snooki character or whatever before?
Dude, I kind of miss Snoke a little bit because you never got to know anything about him, right?
Snooki.
You said Snooki, I was like, bro, I'm not, you know, I'll help you out.
but again, like, but with that plot again, like again, like all those fleets, like where were all these people? How are they running those ships? And all of a sudden, again, when all the good guys came through, like. The amount of ships that they had animated in that one sequence, again, I'm like, there's no way your radio frequencies can coordinate this many fucking like mics going at once. Like nothing about that made sense. Like
it's a little bit different than a Death Star, where it's just sort of like it's this enclosed. Like I think you can assume that the Death Star can move, but we've never really seen it just go pew. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to coordinate more than itself.
I just don't see how. I just don't get what all these people, like they didn't even show one time the staff running these ships, right?
They couldn't.
So I'm like where are they? Like what's going on here? You know,
it's just force power. Don't worry.
I guess, it was just so old. It was just too much.
Takes out of the experience, like takes you out of the moment of disbelief, right?
Yeah, it just took a big brutal dump on it for me. Like I was like, I remember like leaving the theater actually a little mad. I was literally like, fuck, you know, and like I mean, like, and then I mean, like I still like it because it's Star Wars, and like I love special effects, and like I love the character Rey. I think Daisy Ridley, I think her name is. Like she killed it. Adam Driver killed it. Like
dude, Adam Driver got so much better as that series went on. Like it was actually really, really good to see his development.
Yeah, I mean, but hold on, he was an emo motherfucker too. In that show. But yeah. Anyway,
I will finish what my grandfather started.
Yeah, but again, anyway,
it was. But again, I think the difference is I can sit here and you can sit here and we can all sit and just you can shit on the product, but you don't. But if there's someone out there that like, there's some kid especially that likes it. I'm not gonna take my time to be like it absolutely sucks. You have to revisit your entire existence. Like, whatever, you know what I mean?
I'm about to open a bar and run a podcast, and like I'm not taking time on my day to go tell a little kid why if he thought Star Wars Episode 9 was good, like why this kid essentially needs to be put down or something. No,
and the reason why I can tell you that is because, like I said, I had 2 eras of anime watching. The second era was so full of garbage anime that I watched that I have no idea how the hell I ever got through. And like to this, but if someone told me like, yo, the shit that you liked growing up was absolute garbage, I'd be like, I have to agree, but at the same time, it's what I watched. It's what I know.
You know, at the end of the day, everyone watches and listens to music, movies, show, like whatever you like. You like it for whatever reasons you like it for.
Yeah.
So like no one can ever take that away.
Exactly.
I'm just saying for the reasons that I like Star Wars for Episode 9, you know, made me want to hurl in my mouth. But
but that it doesn't take away like A New Hope. You know what I mean?
New Hope is amazing.
It doesn't. Oh, dude, like you just see those scenes, like okay. And then, you know, down the line, if you have to watch the later trilogies, then you do whatever. But, you know? It's like, okay.
Well, it's just kind of like Game of Thrones, like the last episode, like
the last season.
Well, like
is what I've heard.
Traveling across Westeros was a whole seasons of a storyline in the previous season. Then
and it's the build-up.
Yeah, and then the last one, like out of nowhere, she's just like in 2 seconds, like, like fucking like the Ravens are like as fast as text messages now all of a sudden, and like and like she's flying in like you know what I mean? And I'm kind of like,
all right,
I'm like, well, you know, it literally took you weeks and months to fly over in the last one, but now this time you're over there in 2 seconds. Like, I mean, it got stretched so out of its like it was disappointing.
I wonder why they do that. Like, I don't have enough insight on productions and schedules but I kind of wonder. It's like, if you are such a successful franchise, why don't you just slow yourself down, figure out that ending?
There's so many people, like money wise, like have their hands in that project by the time that like there's.
But you don't think they're gonna make more money by like doing half a season and then a movie? You know what I mean?
I think they just were like, people were just like too many cooks in the kitchen. So it's like, and then they wrote themselves into a wall. And then George R. R. Martin obviously was like,
he doesn't write.
He didn't write the last season, like because he already took it as far as he could go. But but the House of Dragon, ooh. What a great show. Jeez. Oh man, like that hits the spot. Can't wait for
it's good that it comes back.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love House of Dragons. Love it.
I haven't started it yet.
Oh dude, you're in for a treat, man. Like calling sick to work and just pump out the 10 episodes. Like,
boss, don't listen to him. I'm actually sick when I call him sick. Okay.
Actually, if you tell your boss the truth, like he might be like, you haven't seen House of Dragon? Like, if you want to keep your fucking job, you're gonna stop what you're doing and watch House of Dragon.
Okay. Anyway. And then you got to do the Harley voice. Yes,
yes, boss. Oh man. Anyway, sorry, I kind of got off topic there, but video games though. Like, what about video games? Like, were you big into video game?
Huge into video games, man. My brother started me into video games. He gave me a Game Boy, the old brick Game Boy, and I described that moment as basically the last time I had any ambition. No, because like,
do you like Street Fighter and stuff like that?
I liked fighting games growing up, but I didn't play very many of them because I just didn't have them, and my other friends didn't play. Growing when I was like 20, I got back into them, and I was like, "This is it! Like, I love it." I didn't get a lot of arcade time. When I was in Japan, I played in the arcades. It was fun.
Yeah, I love the 2-person fighter games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. But I would say, to be honest, like Street Fighter, like that storyline, those characters, I would say is. I was about to say, if I had to really think about it, like I think that might be my favorite of all the
Street Fighters, or just
Street Fighter,
or just fighting games in general.
No, Street Fighter, like Ryu's character, Ken's character, Guile's character, Charlie's character.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like M. Bison's character, like the storyline of Shadowloo and Akuma. Like, I mean, like Street Fighter is definitely hit the spot
2 or 3 alpha.
This is the thing. I like it all. Like, I just love this storyline of Ryu, like just this true badass martial artist. But then it gets crazier with like for some reason I really took a liking to that Cody character.
Oh,
do you remember Final Fight?
Yep.
So like Cody was
from like, because like there's like Hagar.
Hagar's the man.
Hagar's he's such a good dude.
Fuck, dude. All my one buddy looks like, I'm literally like, dude, go as Hagar. He's like, who the fuck's Hagar? I'm like, God damn it, you look just like
if you could just go to con and just do that.
Well, my buddy Kyle, like he just dyes his hair black and wears the green.
Oh, really? He's got
She's just stocky.
Super
like
jacked.
He literally looks like Hagar. I'm just like,
dude.
Anyway,
get a little mustache.
Yeah. He has a big beard right now. But Yeah, no, but I just remember that Cody character was like, I just took a liking to him. I don't know what it is in the comics. Like, there's all these. I have this one Street Fighter comic at home. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like and I just really enjoyed his backstory and how they evolved him along and stuff. And you know, like I don't know, like, but I would say the Street Fighter, for whatever reasons, it just every time like I'm just balls deep, like on a YouTube show, like watching everything there is to know about Street Fighter and this and that, and like
Street
yeah.
Fighter 6 is coming out. They just did my friends were just playing on the open beta or a closed beta. That was like a couple months ago.
What's the
It looks
storyline
super
now?
sick.
Is it like the future or past, or is it like somewhere
This
in the
is
middle?
future.
Okay.
Ken looks like a hobo.
Huh.
You're not gonna like his style, but he fights real well.
How old is Ken now? How old's Ryu now? You know,
I don't know that because I didn't get to play. I didn't get to check all the details.
Okay.
But like I think in the bio, he's probably at least like 45 or something.
Okay.
Like they're getting up there. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's old characters and everything in there too. You like Cody for his backstory. Do you like playing as Cody?
That's the thing. Like I
Or do you not care too much about like who do you play
the
as?
Cody. I use the Cody character like the way I would use Ryu anyway. I use,
Okay,
like I like
distancing and then
distancing,
fighting.
jump kicking,
Yeah.
jump kick, trip, uppercut combo
Yeah.
type thing. But I just remember the storyline kind of like I don't know what it means, why I like it so much, but like because you know the character, like because after the events of a final fight,
Mhm.
like Cody's. You know that you remember how him and Hagar like because there was Jessica.
Yep.
Jessica's Hagar's
His daughter, and
it's
Hager's
Cody.
technically the mayor.
He's a mayor. He's a
right?
mayor of Metro Town.
Yeah,
or,
that's
Anyway,
right.
I think it's called Metro Town.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so crazy storyline. Like the mayor's like, there's too much crime. Forget the cops. I'm gonna single-handedly
I'm gonna fight.
beat the shit out of.
But then
these
he's like,
fucking
"Why were
criminals."
you ever the mayor? Look how jacked you are. He should have just done it the whole time."
He was a pro wrestler, became a
Yeah.
mayor, right? But like again, like I always thought that story was funny. Where he's just like, forget the cops. I'm calling my daughter's boyfriend, who's also a martial artist. What are you doing, kid? Well, I got to work. And fuck all that. We're gonna go assault a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
like, all right,
boss.
yes, boss. And then like, yeah, and then they like whatever, like strap up their hands. But
Yeah.
but remember, you go through all that to save Jessica,
Mhm.
and then I guess in the storyline, she just dumps Cody out.
Yes.
She's just like, hey, thanks for that. Anyway,
That was nice.
I have to eat, pray, and love, so I gotta go travel
Yeah.
now. Bye.
Yeah.
And then she's gone, and then like Cody's in there, just like he becomes all like fucked up from that, and then
Yes.
and then he ends up becoming a criminal
Yes,
himself.
he does.
That's why he's wearing the jumpsuit in Street Fighter.
In most of the Street Fighter games, I think his primary costume's the
jumpsuit with
jumpsuit.
with the handcuffs. But
Yep.
but the Cody character is funny because
he throws rocks.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is I think the most hilarious thing because you've got dudes who are like you have Vega who's basically like Wolverine. He's got claws. You've got people who can literally summon spiritual energy, do a Hadouken, fireball at you.
And Cody will throw rocks. Like
Cody will throw a rock at
Bart,
you.
Bart Simpson style. Like
Yeah,
a
just like
slingshot. Yeah. No, I don't know, but his storyline's funny because like his character like he voluntarily stays in jail, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because he can break out whenever he wants. So whenever
He
wants,
just feels
breaks
like
out.
he needs to be there.
He's
And then,
just he's just bummed out.
yeah.
Like that's how bummed out he is from getting dumped. But I mean we've all been there, I guess. But I mean obviously Cody carried on for like 30 some years. But
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just like his character and his character comes around because in the storyline, the comic I do have, he ends up
Are they like quick aside? Is that like the Udon comics, or are they still making comics, or is someone else?
The comic I have is pretty old, but the drawing is spectacular. And like,
Okay.
yeah,
It might be from the Udon.
It's
group,
old. I
which
mean,
is
I
like
remember
really really good stuff.
I think it is from the Udon group. It
Yeah.
sounds like it, but
They just their art style was like I don't know if they're still together. I haven't like focused up, but anyway.
it's super awesome. But no, but anyway, but the Cody character in that one finally kind of gets out of his rut, and he breaks out of jail just to like gets beat up people to like get his martial arts back up to snuff, and then he gets involved in the World Warrior tournament, and like now he's finally over his breakup or whatever. And I don't know, he's just a funny, cool character, and I don't know, I just always had this like liking just the way they draw him too, with like the blonde angled hair.
Yeah.
But he's like just yoked too.
He's got that prison training.
Yeah,
He's got that prison time to build up. Every day.
Just jacked like fuck. Anyway, I don't know, man. It's it brings a smile to my face whenever I see Street Fighter stuff. Even the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter movie, like it was so bad that it was good. What a disaster that movie
Street
was.
Fighter is my favorite line from any of the Street Fighter content has always been Raul Julia, like he as Bison.
As Bison, yeah.
Because he's got that line with Chun-Li
Is it okay? Go on. There was another line for that. You go first, but
It's the whole scene where like because M Bison went into Chun-Li's village, killed her dad,
Yeah.
and then probably killed a whole bunch of other people, but killed her dad. But she's looking for revenge, and that's why she's come to him now. And M Bison is all just like, for you, like I'm gonna get this wrong, but it's for you the most important day was when I came into your village. For me, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that is such a cold line.
Dude. Well, there was even funnier parts. When like DJ was tracking all the money,
Yes,
the Bison dollars. Oh, he didn't know it was Bison dollars.
Bison dollars.
And then he's just like, and then Zangief's like, he's like, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys. He's like, good guy, bad guy, dude, get your money. Like the Shadowloo's falling apart. And then he's like, he talks about something about collecting his money, and then Zangief's just like, you got paid. Like this whole time he's been working for free.
Poor Zang.
But dude,
the spirit of volunteerism.
Dude, there was another line from that movie that again stuck out with me and my brother. Like, Chris D'Elia actually made fun of this on the Joe Rogan podcast. So like, I'm like, okay, so I wasn't the only one who noticed this, but first of all, Guile is an American patriot.
Yes.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme had the thickest Belgian accent that they never addressed.
Yeah. It's like anytime you have like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his old movies where they're like, yeah, sure, we've got this Austrian dude, but he's clearly he's very American.
But I remember he gave this speech, Jean-Claude Van Damme, in the Street Fighter movie. He was just like, and again, Chris D'Elia already made fun of this, but I'm just gonna do it, like say it again, because it totally stood out. Where he was like giving a speech to all of his soldiers, and he's like, I'm gonna kick Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe will feel it. But like, so like it, like at first I was like, what the fuck did he say? And like, so then it was like, it slowed down and said like, I'm gonna kick that Bison. I'm gonna kick Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe will feel it. But the way he said hard, he's just like I'm gonna kick Bison's ass so hard, like so hard.
Sounds like because Belgium's a little bit like it's close to France. It kind of has that same accent. Sounds like Georges St. Pierre.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Literally, like actually,
Georges St. Pierre is French, but
I know, but like but Belgium is right beside France, and they have that sort of same
thing.
I think it was funny as hell.
I have a funny Georges St. Pierre story I'll tell right after this, but anyway, I remember me and Alan also, like growing up, we were just always like, kick your ass so hard. So hard, like it just again these sounds just like gravitate. Funny Georges St. Pierre. So when he fought BJ Penn the second for the unified belt. For unifying the welterweight belt, or
this is when he came back.
No. This is like back in the day when he had the belt.
Okay.
This is like a long time ago. This must have been 2008 or 9 but BJ Penn moved up in weight. He fought George.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went and saw that live, and then we ended up going to the Spearmint Rhino. It's a gentleman's club in Vegas. Anyway, so Georges St. Pierre was there. Like right after his fight. Yeah. And I just remember
and you're just like, damn.
Sorry,
you're like, damn.
Oh well, first of all, yeah, like,
right.
Because so I was wearing like a tight muscle shirt, so like I kind of looked like a fighter, and like so I walked up near his crew, and I just kind of started like hanging out near them, and no one like said anything. Like, and then all of a sudden George gets kind of walked towards his back area, and I kind of like walk with them,
just like,
and then I was talking to David Loiseau actually, who was contender for the middleweight belt, and he was kind of drunk, David Loiseau, and then. But like I just knew so much about fighting that he's just kind of like, I think even he was confused who's in their crew. So So he's kind of like, I'm chatting with David Loiseau, and then like
he's just counting heads.
And then he's just like, he must be a fighter too from a different gym. I don't know. And then George, first of all, I remember like I put my arm on his shoulder real quick and just like, hey George, how's it going? Congrats on your fight. And like his muscles were just like, I just remember it was like craters of like he was just so in shape. And then he turns out, oh, he's so nice, like, oh, thank you. It's like
he's just the most humble dude.
Anyway,
right?
but then George is like, he's surrounded by these strippers, and they're all like, they're just like, oh George, like, we love you, you're our favorite fighter. And then George is like, oh, you ladies, you don't need that kind of violence in your life. it's like you shouldn't be watching that, so whatever. Like it was
what a gentleman.
Oh dude, I was laughing. I was just like he's just such a like gentleman. He really is. And he was super nice when I like met up with him. But then after a while, I think it was one of their fighters like finally was like, hey, you're not like with us, eh? I'm like, no, I'm, you know,
I'm
it's
just
like,
a fan.
he's like, hey, man, like we're, you know, we got to carry on the evening. George appreciates that, and like,
Yeah.
and then and then.
Well, I mean, it was good that you probably weren't jumping in his face about stuff too, right?
But
Like
I was just awestruck, right? I mean,
yeah,
just saw, I like, I mean, my buddy makes a joke. We had the same weekend,
Yeah.
except that while he was fighting, I was watching him fight, and then we both went to Spearman Rhino after.
You're like, where'd my friend go?
Yeah, my buddy. Yeah, he was. What was my buddy doing at the time? Well, yeah, no, he was there. He was like, he was close by. Yeah. And
Okay.
then,
Okay. Didn't just leave him behind.
Wow. Yeah. No. Well, if he left me, I think I would have just tried to hang out with George.
Yeah, that's fair.
Disappeared in the night with him, but things were getting crazy for him because he was like, he was getting pretty drunk too, and but
fair.
but there he was, just walking around by himself, like wasn't surrounded by no security, no nothing, you know. And
Yeah.
so yeah,
that is a good story, man. It's interesting because we were talking. I'm gonna flip back the script a little bit here, a little bit to Otafest, a little bit about what Alan does, a little bit of what I've done. So it's interesting because we have special guests, like we have
George
special guests all the time. Yeah, George Samir for sure. Like he voices these guys. Maybe one day. I've actually joked because Ryan Reynolds, obviously he did Detective Pikachu. I don't know if you ever watched.
I never saw it, but I know he did it.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
And I've always joked that we should bring him in as voice actor, only for the voice acting part. We don't market any of his acting. We don't market any of his like Aviation Gin stuff or Deadpool or whatever. We're just like, yo, he's the voice actor for like Pikachu. It's like his first voice acting part, so we could probably get him in. Like he's kind of small, right? And but like one of the funny things is that we always have to be, one of the weird things about being a volunteer is that you can't be too attached. You can't be too attached to the guests, not because we don't respect them, not because we don't love them, not because we haven't seen all their stuff and be like, love that dude's stuff. And we brought them in to Otafest for the fans and for the audience. But at the same time, we can be like, I'm not going to be like, yo, can you sign like 40 things for me?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want a fanboy too.
Yeah. You gotta stay cool. You gotta be good. That, I think what you did, like what you describe about like your interaction with GSP there is like, that's the prime kind of interaction level that you need to be like, you kind of have to be mature about seeing another human being. You know what I mean?
I don't think I've ever truly fanboyed hard, except for like Jackie Chan I met when I was 12, and I couldn't talk.
Yeah, but okay, you're also 12.
I was 12. And
you know what I mean? Like
when they're filming Shanghai Noon, met him.
Where was this?
So he was him, Lucy Liu, and Owen Wilson. They were all having dinner at the Chinese restaurant we went to, and then my dad's is friends with the owner, and then he called him, and then and my uncle actually has some history with Jackie Chan in childhood days when they were in Hong Kong. So my dad was like, kind of like, and my uncle, the owner told my dad to come say hi to Jackie Chan. And then I remember my dad went into the room where they were, and Jackie Chan apparently came out. No. He came out and then greeted our whole family. And he was still in his like his Shanghai Noon costume.
For sure.
And then I just remember as a kid hearing him tell my dad, like, hey, like tell your brother reach out to me or something, like, you know, or something like that. Like, because apparently like, Jackie Chan like apparently grew up like in the similar neighborhood as my dad and his brother with their children. Yeah. So like, so my dad was like saying, I was like I literally saw him around like right till I was like 9 or 10, and then he took off and started doing stunts and stuff. But that was the only time I remember being like, like I was. But
like, I mean, again, you're like 12. I think there's a difference between like when you're an adult and you're like you can't handle it for some reason. I'm like, probably be a little bit more respectful than that. Like love them, love what they do, love, like, you know, have that experience, but like don't jump into that entourage or don't cause that shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what I'll do from now on is interrupt their time
all the time.
Just they're in the 100%. Middle of putting a piece of food in their mouth. That's when I'll attack and be like, hey,
hey,
sign my autograph.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want. Yeah. But you know, that also speaks to something else that between like you and I share, I think culturally, like, because you mentioned like someone like Jackie Chan, for example. I've never met him, probably won't. Oh well.
He's very old now. I mean,
he's quite he's 70 something.
He's 70 something.
71
now, for sure.
Maybe. But like the thing is like it's that sort of maybe we appreciate it like almost more in a different sense than like maybe family back in like Hong Kong. It's like being Chinese Canadian or Chinese American and sort of seeing these stars still like connect they connect
Oh
the
yeah,
bridge.
well, it's a lot like when Bruce Lee
Oh,
blasted onto the scene, because like
absolutely.
prior to him, like I think he's the first major Chinese like actor to make it big in American films. But prior to that, every Asian character was just like a walking nerd.
Caricature.
Yeah, caricature. There's a lot of racism and stuff, and so I mean, that's part of why I love Jackie Chan, because. But also, I just loved his movies. They also feel good, you know.
Yeah,
even the dark ones, like
he has like contract clauses back in the day that he was not allowed to play bad guys. I think. I like he specifically said, I do not want to play bad guys. I always want to be the good guy.
Rumble in the Bronx, for instance, was there was a pretty dark storyline in that.
Sure,
like, you know, especially when they're throwing the glass at him in that alley scene, and he's just this immigrant trying to like do the right thing. Like, I mean, like that was pretty dark.
I don't know if you saw like I think it's called The Foreigner.
Oh wait, is that with Jet Li? For the oh wait,
no. I think it was the one where it's filmed in like Ireland.
Okay, never mind.
It has
Pierce Brosnan's in it, right?
Yes. Okay, and
yeah.
that one is also really interesting because like it's much more of a cohesive, like not just action film, but there's a lot of like because he's just a shop owner, like, and his daughter's, but like it's Chinese take.
That's always his storyline, right? Like
a little bit. Like
gentle,
he humble beginnings,
humble guy who's really deadly with his hands or whatever, you know.
Right, but like at this time, this is Jackie Chan. I think he's got to be about like 62 in that movie, right? Like you can see that he knows he can't do all the things that he used to be able to. Yeah. But you see like that determination. You see like that sort of I want to call it like immigrant culture essentially kind of come through. But then it's like there's the bridges for. Again, culturally for parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, no. Well, he's definitely like, you know, he's a hero for a reason, right? Like because of like, I don't know. He's just like, how often is there like a badass Asian dude who's like, you know, like kicking some serious ass and like
it's John Cho,
like, you know, John Cho, yeah. Well, in Cowboy Bebop, John Cho
he is, not Harold and Kumar.
No, and I can't
Star
say,
Trek.
he was even in Star Trek. It was like. I kept seeing Harold and Kumar character in Star Trek.
I think he was still too like fresh.
I like John Cho though. I mean, like
he's a good actor,
and I really like Simi Liu.
Of course, he's the kind of the big one right now, for sure.
But honestly,
Donnie Yen is like he's still older, but he's still kind of like he's on the tail end. He came after like Jet Li. He came after
Donnie Yen has range, man. I mean, he was super good in Rogue One, that Star Wars movie.
That's true.
He wasn't. Well, I guess he was a martial artist in that because he had his stick and he was blind, but he always walked around being like I'm one with the Force, and the Force is one with me. I'm like, this guy's crazy,
cool. But he's gonna like kick ass when it comes time.
Yeah.
Rogue One is, by the way, my favorite Star Wars movie.
I haven't finished what the Disney Plus show about Rogue One.
I haven't actually. I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't actually gone that.
Dude, well, you got to watch it. Just came out. It's the whole prequel to Rogue One.
Because Rogue One is the movies are the prequel.
No. But this show
I
is
got
the
you.
prequel to the characters in Rogue One.
But yeah, like Rogue One hits so many good notes.
Yeah, no, Rogue One is insane.
It's the best modern Star Wars.
Well, serious too, right? Like Rogue One is like sorry.
No, you finish because the thing I'm going to mention is like the scene. So
okay, just you go. Like, what were you going to say?
It's the Vader scene.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, that was sick.
That is like legitimate. That moment, like you realize the buildup is coming. You understand.
Tell me you saw Obi-Wan, the new Obi-Wan show on Disney Plus.
Yes,
you saw that one, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay,
but
sick.
But it's still like I think there's still. I don't think for me personally, other than maybe like the Darth Vader reveal as a kid, nothing like the second biggest moment is the Darth Vader scene in Rogue One.
That was insane
because that is the moment where you like you know everything's coming up together. You know Tarkin and you see Leia and everything like that. That's cool, but like you don't understand what's about to happen until you see what's happening.
You see how crazy he's actually a bad fucking dude.
Exactly. For like the one time that he's not like Anakin. Yeah. Because Anakin does some good fighting, but he's not the same. He's not Vader.
Yeah.
You see Vader, you see the wow, and you're just like everyone in the theater. I remember just like collectively shit their pants.
Yeah,
and shut the fuck up. Right? Nobody said anything.
You didn't get that same effect from the Obi-Wan episode, like a final episode of Obi-Wan. When him and Obi-Wan finally square up, and Obi-Wan has his powers back. He's not being a whiny little bitch.
I just don't think I think it could have been just like where you're watching it, like the physical location. Theater versus
Oh yeah. Well, theater's different because okay, part of why
You know?
going to a theater is awesome is like
It's
I've
the-
always explained this. Like you need to go to a theater when it's packed
Yeah.
because you draw off everyone else's energy.
Yes.
That's what you're paying for.
But that's
You're
what
not-
I
you're not
mean-
just-
that's
'cause if
what
you
I
go to
meant,
an
though,
empty
like-
theater with a big screen. No offense, it's more comforting if you watch it at home. Like,
Yeah.
you know. But it's like I remember. But
Like
there's been so many like. But that's why like I love movies and things because
Yeah.
when like when you get a bunch of people together in an auditorium and they collectively shit their pants. It's such a super
Yeah.
moment. Like, it's
like I said, like they
know?
shut their pants, they shut the fuck up, and you watch that scene.
Mhm.
Like there's some other scenes where like, oh, you know, people make fun of whatever and chat and whatever, but there was that moment and you knew,
yeah.
right? And that's the difference.
Revenge of the Sith. I remember I like beyond shat my pants. Like,
Yeah?
when the
You're like, "Ah!"
the Emperor like revealed the big reveal,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then Anakin fully immerses himself to the dark side.
Yeah.
And then that final scene where Anakin, for whatever reasons, is like he's like Anakin, I have the high ground. Don't you dare try to attack me. And then, like, he flies up and like Obi-Wan like swings his lightsaber, cuts off his arm, his leg, and probably
Yeah.
the tip of his cock too. I mean, like, yeah, like, you know,
Just the
like,
tip? Damn.
probably, I
No,
don't know,
no,
like,
no. He meant to do just the tip.
or whatever.
That was a warning.
Whatever it
That was a
was,
warning.
he was very, very mangled. And
Yeah.
It's like so funny. Like Darth Vader's probably just like crawling with the one arm.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
probably like looking down and he realizes the tip of his cock.
It's
is
like,
gone.
no!
That's what he's like. No.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah,
it's
like-
not about the. It's not about the.
It's like Vader, your wife
she's
Padme is dead. He's like, ugh. It's like, and you don't have the tip of your cock. No. Hey Jay, on that note,
yeah,
I'm gonna call it right here. We've been going an hour and a half here.
sure, man.
Once again, Jay's with Otafest. They're going to put their podcast info and their festival information, all their social media stuff in the show notes. And Jay, this was fun. We should definitely do this again. And as Otafest comes out, my bar will be open by then. So
We'll be happy to visit.
Yeah,
We'll be happy to get into the booth.
Yeah, come into the booth and let's do another podcast in the actual booth out of the bar. I'm gonna for sure check out Otafest this year. I haven't really checked out too many of them in the past.
There's a lot of stuff to do, man.
Yeah, I think it's
we-
every time
we're
because
so
it's May
busy.
long weekend, so I'm always something comes up. I think it must be that.
That happens fairly. Like,
Yeah.
like, it just we are our dates. We don't change that too much.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you know,
Yeah, no,
That's
I
what
will.
it is.
But I'll definitely check it out.
I'll make Jenny make sure you check it out.
I know how
She's
to
the
get in touch
chair.
with her. Okay, I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation, and all right, have a great day.
Yeah.
All right.
Be good.